Miami Dolphins get a B minus. They signed Jordan Brooks, and this is fucking dumb.
I will do the research after we go off air, and I will tell you that there's nobody that has $100 million invested in two guards unless someone's making 80 and somebody's making 20. Like it's a lot of money.
Jordan Brooks went to the Miami Dolphins along with Aaron Brewer. Shaq Barrett also signed a 1-year deal, and Jordan Poyer as well. Which I think are all good signings for that B minus grade. The problem is Miami lost Christian Wilkins. Connor Williams is gone at this point because they brought in Aaron Brewer. Clearly, it was more than $7 million a year, and plus Connor has some injury concerns there. So you lose a couple of big guys to free agency. You don't bring them back. You try to replace them a little bit. I think you get a B minus. I think it's fine. What do you have?
I think that C plus B minus sits right for the Miami Dolphins, although I think their offseason grade can be a lot lower because as of right now, they haven't done anything to, you compare two teams that are going to compete in that division in the AFC next year and how much better the Houston Texans got, and Miami didn't really do anything. It's just kind of rough for them, I think.
If you look at the consensus for the draft, they're slated for Graham Barton, who's a 5-position flex player. It's pretty much offensive lineman. Does Aaron Brewer or re-signing Robert Jones really move the needle for you to sway away from that, or is that kind of what we're targeting? I mean, shoot, if I know they're probably... I guess they brought in Aaron Brewer, that's fine. I was going to say they could hope that JPJ falls, but you could also play guard, but there's other guys who play guard in the draft too, and you don't need to take them that high.
There's just a ton of interior offensive talent there. There's a couple tackles that may be offensive guards. There's just a ton of talent right there. I mean, now there's you could draft one of those guys, or you could just pay another guy $50 million when there's guys sitting there at your pick. But there's two ways. There's multiple different ways to skin a cat. And the Miami Dolphins, man, I just feel like they're going to regress big time when they lose Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek is not 27, and so their window is interesting for now. And it's going to play out to Tyreek Hill's gone. Are we extending Tua? There's a lot up in the air. Luckily, Waddle's legit. A-Chain seems like he's legit. So you have pieces there. It's an interesting offseason. And if the Miami Dolphins are one of those teams that falls out, every year somebody goes from last to first and someone falls out. If the Miami Dolphins are that team this year, even though I'm a big believer in Mike McDaniels, anytime a 49ers guy goes somewhere, I want them to be successful. I wanted Robert Saleh to be successful. And that's another team. The Jets are getting Aaron Rodgers back this year. Maybe he might run for vice president, I heard. So maybe he won't be back. But it's just one of those things where I think that they haven't done enough. So it's not a terrible free agency period for them, but they need to do more if they want to continue to compete. You have to get better every year to compete in the NFL. You can't just spend $100 million on lackluster positions and hope to compete. So
absolutely.